Don't let it break his leg.
The wall is up.
Break his leg. Oh, see, he's already trying to break his leg.
So collar ties here. You can see the towering 285 pounds.
What?
Yeah, 6'7", 285. Nice big Uchimata off the whizzer. Looks to get on the single. Trying to bring that up, works his way to the back. Uchimata attempt for Gimenis now, and he does a great job of turning back into Manasoiu. Again with the whizzer and the throw. Hopping through, he's going to roll in on a leg potentially. That is over 500 pounds of human being heading towards the pit wall there.
Yeah. Was at the observation deck of the World Trade Center.
Is that what he's asking for?
No. He's out of 16. It was the new
So
one.
half guard here for Manasoiu. We've seen him play this guard position quite frequently in matches. Looking to get a bite on that far arm as well.
What do you think that's for?
Gimenis hopping up and over, using the wall there to scoot his legs up and away. You know, that's just one of the aspects of trying to get some of these submission bouts into the pit. We really don't know how this pit wall is going to affect matches in certain positions, and it's going to take some time and some experience for that to play out.
It's nice, though. I like it a lot, because now nobody can be out of bounds.
Yeah, that's really the biggest thing, right? We're not having to stop matches for submission attempts where somebody flees, they roll out of a heel hook, and they keep rolling. They keep going.
Yep.
It looked like he used the wall right there to get out of that.
Yeah, vaulting up and over. Manasoiu looking for that butterfly guard briefly, but back to a loose half guard here. Sits up into seated guard. See what Gimenis' passing style is going to be here as he goes head to head. Oh, trying to sprawl out on that bottom leg here, and Manasoiu trying to use that knee to lever him up on top.
BJJ, not BBC.
Big wide step around from Gimenis. Again, Manasoiu accepting this seated guard position here.
Yeah. The other guy's like, hey, we gotta stay for the other.
And you know, Bas, beating that knee shield, very, very tricky at times.
Mm-hmm. And it's the only thing they do, so it's very hard.
Yeah, obviously MMA, you know, you're well aware you can just sit on that bottom half guard leg and throw some strikes to open it up, but doesn't quite work that way here in the modern jiu-jitsu game. Manasoiu looking to strip some grips, maybe get some wrist control.
Show me that cast, that's like front. See the whole body and you go to the left. I'll show you that.
Very slow pace here, which is probably fair given the size of these two. We saw what happened with Griffith and Wagner. You know, fatigue over 12 minutes in this open Miami setting. You know, it really starts to play havoc with that cardio.
For somebody new to this, is there a benefit to being either in the upper or lower position? I'm sure there's a benefit to both, correct?
Yeah, so they both have different things they're looking for. Obviously, that top position, he's looking to get past the legs, try and secure a control position that allows him to attack more decisively. If you can get to a control point like this, potentially. Manasoiu, on the other hand, he's looking to try and off-balance his opponent, look for a sweep to come to a top position himself, or try and really isolate an arm or get on a neck for a submission attempt. And that's one of the nice things about, you know, jiu-jitsu is it means that when you're on the bottom here, you're really not at such a disadvantage as you would be if strikes were involved.
That's why this is such a great sport for women.
Yeah, from a self-defense perspective, nothing better.
And do some people prefer to be in a bottom position to a top
so Helena right away. She was right away pulling her in. Yep.
Yeah, and you know, the knock on people pulling guard, right, is a lot of people think when people pull guard, it means they can't wrestle or they can't take the fight down. It's not necessarily the case. It's just the way they prefer to play the rule set they're playing at the time. You know, everybody you see pull guard can still do the wrestling. They can still do the takedowns. It's just that's the style they choose to implement in that particular rule set.
Okay.
But yeah, slow pace to this one. Perhaps it's time for the ref to call for a stalling penalty. See Gimenis just getting around the legs, but big post here. And can he settle into side control? Manasoiu not looking too bothered though. He allows himself to get flattened briefly here. Looking to perhaps bump his hips out. He's going to try and create some disalignment in the spine of Gimenis. knock that head to one side, allow him to get some frames in and create some space. There we go, posts over. Gimenis trying to jump to the back here. Well, Manasoiu inverting underneath. Gimenis steps out.
That's got to be completely new for them. You know, like when you have that wall behind you, the 45-degree angle.
Yeah, you think you're fleeing, but you're really just stepping into another leg entry.
Oh, yeah, he does. Big ball.
You know, I think obviously that when you look at the size of Gimenis, Manasoiu is a big guy, but so is Gimenis, and the energy it takes to really go for something decisive from this bottom position, you know, it's going to be substantial. The last thing you want to do is have to carry that weight and then lose it in a scramble and get flattened out again.
Most of the time, shorter, stockier, it will give you an advantage in grappling at least. It's, you know, shorter limbs, more compact. You would think on close distance with the longer limbs of his opponent, Daniel, you'd think, okay, maybe he can go. But then again, thinking then, it's a different animal.
Yeah, I mean, Gimenis is doing a good job of sprawling very, very low on that bottom leg. He's not allowing Manasoiu to get underneath him all that much, which is what would facilitate some more attacks, or at least allow Manasoiu to off-balance Gimenis more. But we're past the halfway point here. There's just over 5 minutes left on the clock. And I'd really like to see the ref call for perhaps bring them back to a stand-up.
Listen, you got to roll into this stuff. It doesn't just start as a rager of a party. This is an art form here. We watch this, we settle in, we loosen up a little bit.
Right,
and we're about 5 minutes away from violence. The violence is coming.
We've got some...
The bloodshed, Rick Ross, every day I'm hustling. That's will coming. Be blood. There will be blood, but we gotta ease into it, boys.
Trust me, with the gloves we're using tonight, there will absolutely be some blood and violence. But we're getting warmed up here. The alcohol is flowing.
Yeah, people are having, this is like the cocktail of the evening. People are getting warmed up a little bit.
An aperitif, as you will.
Yeah, a little bit, you know, a little bit more art form into the drink. Then later we'll get into the dirty shit.
We're just going to stop.
Excited. Yeah, Boss.
He's like, bring on the mixing and the crossfade. So Gimenis again, and he looks for a wrist lock here.
Yeah. That's funny.
Isolating that elbow, trying to get that wrist lock on Manasoiu, and Gimenis again settles into this top position, and I've got to say, this is all time of control on top for Gimenis. It's not been particularly pretty, but it's getting the job done right now. Turning the legs of Manasoiu away from him, that's going to stop the young man from turning into him, and he's looking to work to a north-south choke potentially here.
That's my position. My whole game is right there, side control.
You know, it's a tricky one. I think if you'd asked a lot of people in the jiu-jitsu community, hey, how do you think Team New Wave is going to do tonight? They'd say, look, really, odds better than not, they walk away with 3 wins. But it's really not looking that way right now, as Manasoiu struggles to get out from underneath Gimenis here. And he's only got 3.5 minutes left to work and try and turn the judges in his favor.
Jump the knee ball.
Man, I would suck at this, dude. I would be so bad at this, man.
It's one of these things in the beginning, you know, it's very hard to find the click, and then suddenly it goes, and you say, oh, wow.
I kind of get it.
And then it starts it, and,
Yeah,
and then it becomes the best game ever.
Typically when you learn to breathe with someone else on top of you and not to panic. Yeah, that's when it really switches for people.
Everybody's dead tired. Within 2 minutes, you're gassed because you're breathing at all the wrong moments. You're flexing the whole time so you don't give your belly space to breathe. Then a good guy will lay on your floating rim the whole time. That's where the diaphragm is located, so you can't really inhale.
So again, looking to go north-south choke potentially as Gimenis walking that arm up over. And Manasoiu has got some work to do here.
Yeah.
He's not being decisive in trying to create space at all at this point.
Max has got both legs intact. 0 broken legs so far in this match. I was promised broken tibias at least. Maybe femurs.
Now again, looking to try and work on that wrist lock.
He's going for it the whole time.
Crafty work from the man from GFT.
You're losing. Do something.
Manasoiu looking to turn in here. Easy work for Gimenis to just move around on top. And the problem for Manasoiu here is just that little bit of movement and then settling again is making it so much easier for Gimenis to conserve energy by just dancing around loosely on top.
And Gimenis is constantly floating, keeping the control.
I'm not going to be breathing. Right.
Taking his time. Blink his eye. Did you see that to his corner?
Yeah, a bit of knee on the ribs here as well.
What do you think his corner's saying to him right now? Tighten up somewhere or something like that?
I think he's saying just more of the same.
Just keep doing what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, look, from a rule perspective, he's well ahead on the judges' scorecards. There's no reason for him to try and force the action particularly, other than to be more entertaining. But right now, he's looking to chair sit and take the back of Manasoiu. He's got to come up on mount here.
Okay, now he's going to go for leg right away. I was going to say he wanted to, but he missed it.
And that was good work from Gimenis. He saw the danger of Manasoiu coming up on top, engaged those giant legs and just leg pressed Manasoiu back down to the mat. I think fatigue has got the better of the young man from Austin here.
Looking for side
11
control
minutes
here.
Absolutely, well done, Mike.
Mike.
Got a point for you.
Look at that.
Mike, I promise I'm going to get you there, buddy. I'm going to get you loving jiu-jitsu over the course of 2024,
Listen,
I promise.
I love it.
So into the closing minute here in the last of our Pit Submission Series bouts. Karate, 8 bouts of Karate Combat Kickback 1 coming your way immediately following this Submission Series debut.
Take a chance. I will go at least try to go for a submission.
Right, might as well at this point. 30 seconds. Oh, well, he's got, going head and arm into the mount position now. You know, and I'd be really interested to talk to Manasoiu after this and see what happened to him, because this is not the sort of performance we're used to seeing from this young man. Looking to march, you see he's walking that left arm up, making contact with his hand to the ground, allows him so much more leverage and pressure to try and isolate that right arm of Manasoiu. But time's going to expire here, and I'm sorry, Mike, you're not going to get your broken tib fib today.
Dang it.
I think it's going to be a pretty decisive win.
Max had already won with
for
that beard of
Gimenis.
his. Great beard on Max.
And a whole host of influencers and social media folks starting to fade in. The Island Boys,
dude, you gotta be kidding me.
have showed up just behind us here. They're going to be enjoying some of the action pit side tonight.
Dang way, bro. You gotta be kidding me, bro.
And Dan Manasoiu struggling.
Yeah, I saw that.
To get back up here.
What's going on?
Is there a chance the leg breaking has come back to him?
Well, I mean, look, I think there's definitely a fatigue accident. Maybe on one of the takedowns he jarred an ankle or a knee. That wouldn't surprise me, and that would really explain. Yeah, I think that might be what it is. Yeah. I think one of the takedown scrambles, he perhaps might have busted a leg or a knee here, and he's actually didn't notice a cut opened up under his eye as well. I mean, there were some pretty heavy exchanges of Uchimatas at the start of this bout.
Yeah, with a weight like that, anything can happen.